But this is a technique called ponassing, which is basically a broiling technique. It's like grilling, but without a grill. So there's a little bit of woodwork to do. First up, I would like you to pick one of the heavier rods that is back there. We should have plenty for everyone in the studio audience. And you want about a metre, so it's sort of mid-chest, so you should get 2 out of each rod. To safely use a saw, reach across the blade. Anatomically, if you cut yourself, you always pull towards yourself. So some of you probably sawed the back of your thumb when you were helping your dad when you were little, just because the blade always jumps in. So to avoid that reach across, saw efficiently using the full length of the blade. Don't hack at it like a butcher, but nice, long, efficient mechanical strokes. You're going to be popping this into the ground, pointy ending and presenting it to the fire. So to make a point on a stick, use a nice positive grip, so contain the knife with your thumb. Don't be tempted to put your thumb in the back. Lassies and fellas with light wrists tend to do that, a bit like the old Black Widow slingshots with the wrist brace, because it helps support and lock the wrist. Unfortunately, the net result is usually a blister down the length of the thumb pad, which isn't ideal. So control the knife here. Also, if it's here, it can't spin in the hand, so it's not a secure grip. So a standard fist grip, punch grip, whatever you want to call it. And I want you to work outside of your body. Most of the tasks you do, like chopping tomatoes at home or driving your car or working a keyboard, is very symmetric. Knife use needs to be to the outside, essentially avoiding these nice big pipes, your femoral arteries, because if you chop through them, it's kind of terminal. So, brace on the leg, brace on the block, and you notice I'm working on the edge so that my knuckles are dropping into space, not here, where I'm going to repeatedly ding them. Also, you'll notice I start close to my hand, so I've got good mechanical advantage, good leverage, but I actually slice so the cut finishes quite close to the end of the knife, like so. So a knife likes to slice, it likes to work on the lead edge. If you picture Madame Guillotine for lopping French aristocrats' heads, there's a reason that blade is angled and not flush. So most tools that have a flat edge have another mechanical driver. So if you think of a classic plane, it's like a big block plane, it's got 2 big triceps punching it through, or a chisel has got a beetle or a mallet popping it through. I don't want you to try this, but I've just sharpened this and it's hair popping sharp. Do this in your own time, but extreme example of that, I can take a razor knife and press it hard directly into the heel of my hand, but not risk injury. If I was to move this even 2 mils, fingers would stop working and it would get horrible fast. That's because I give it a lead edge. So that's an extreme example of how to be good with a knife quickly. So the novice mistake is to do this, which will cut, but requires a lot of power. Start here and slice, and it just glides through the wood. So that's your point on. In an ideal world, quite nice just to reduce this a bit so that you can see the pith. The pith is that original sapling, that first growth ring. Once you see that, in absence of a tail, which would be super handy, have a full prehensile tail, and then it would free up both hands. Grip between your thighs, manipulate your environment, knock your log over so that it works well for you. The salient safety feature is that the blade must be facing away from you. Start a split. You can see that split starting to establish in the run. Pop your knife free. If it gets stuck, just let it cut itself free using the sharp edge. Chase that split. Place the point of contact on the point of contact so that all your energy goes directly into the log and isn't going into air, which will create a seesaw effect, so make it efficient. And repeat. My split is now jumped to here. The safety feature of blade away, the worst cuts I've seen in course, I've seen 3 now in 15 years, and it's always been a left thumb tendon. It's gone ping, and it's always been doing this. Where the knife's got stuck, and in a moment's madness, the person has gone here and cranked the knife out and sandwiched the tendon, and it's gone pop. So blade away keeps stop that from happening, full stop. And if it does get stuck, just come and see one of us guys and we'll have to pop it out. but that levering action just cuts through any rope fibres and keeps it nice and free. So chase to the last visual point of the split. It's probably running a little bit further, but under the bark. This is good enough for me. If I was a wily old woodsman, I could drive it and work it towards myself. The safety feature here is you work knuckle to knuckle, and it's all on the pry. But as beginners, I'd recommend that you just chase the split. So you end up wrecking quite a few nice hazel rods when you learn to drive. If it starts to run off, you can see this is wandering now, so it's likely to pop up here. I'm just going to reseat it, so I'm going to go to the last visual point and just step in half a cm to take me back to centre. You can never predict it, which way the grain is going to swirl, because as this sapling came up, all it takes is from a rotten old hazel here to fall over, and it'll go, oh, I'll have that light, and start to twist. So you can never predict by looking. So now I've cross-grained it. Now you'll see the merit of sandwiching out that way. So my poussins are pretty small. That is more than enough split to drop a bird into. And then the final ingredient is I want a little spreader bar to just pop the meat open. So I'm just going to pop that off. I just guillotine around. Another technique, if you want it, is to just put in a sequence of small cuts. Just chase it around like that. That just weakens it sufficiently. That will snap free. We call it the rosette cut because you end up with a little pretty flower when you're done. But essentially you just need a pencil stick, which is a spreading bar. And because I'm popping it in a slot, I'm just going to actually flatten it so it grips a little bit better. Some people make a huge fuss about removing the bark. You can scrape it all away to remove the bacteria, but in all of my 41 years on this planet, I've yet to hear of anyone going to hospital with bark bacteria-induced poisoning, so I'm not overly worried about it. Okay, so that's that sorted. Now, come this way. Woodwork done. And then, when the course is done tomorrow, they'll go in a big bucket full of bleach and eventually go in a dishwasher. So, quick and dirty technique for small birds. It's called spatchcocking. Have you heard of the term before? Mm-hmm. Do you know where it comes from? It's a colloquial Irish term to dispatch the cock. So it's basically when you've got the Sunday roast on, and then Uncle Patrick rolls in on plan from the pub, and there's not enough meat. So the young fella will be sent out to dispatch the rooster, and then you're playing catch up to cook the bird quickly. So spatchcocking is, if you've ever been to Chinatown and you've seen the ducks that are big flattened out, hanging in the windows, you're basically cutting out the spinal cord and then press the bird flat, and then you can cook it super fast in a frying pan to both sides. So what I'd like you to do is find the parson's nose, so lie him on his back. The parson's nose, especially in a duck, is where all the oil glands and waterproofing glands are. So I'm not a huge fan of that little fatty bit of gristle. My granny used to love it, but it doesn't do it for me. So I use that and just pop through the ribs. I like to work up from the inside. And basically, I'm just cutting out the spinal cord. That's the wishbone I've got to. Okay, so that's my poussin without a spine. If it was a bigger bird, I'd be bouncing up and down on him a bit. But now what I want to do is, when I present him to the fire, I want to make sure he doesn't curl with the heat as the meat starts to reduce. Hence the need for the spreader bar. And it naturally presents itself. So what we can do is run a knife cut through here, above or under the big heavy muscle group, but above the femur, the long bone, through the shield of the sternum, and same again here. So just pinching, again blade facing away from myself so there's no risk of cutting. And now I can weave through, pin the ends of the legs down, pin again, through. Where's my hole? There we go. You can, if you're being mega fussy, do the same with the wings, but to be honest, they cook so quick I quite like to tear them off and munch them before it's all done anyways. And then it's entirely up to you. You can present sideways or this way. Generally, if you think about it, the most sensible place to drop them, in my opinion, is this way with the heavy breast meat and the heavy thigh meat low, because that's going to be the bit that's presented to the fire and pick up the most of the heat. It's easier as two people with a buddy to help you. And where's Michael gone? You got my root? Okay, Michael's just grabbed the spruce root for me. Best question I got last year. Ben, where do I get roots from? I spied. What holds up trees? There's the clue. Have a look at the base of a tree. The best place to look for a root is on a slope. So on a slope, a tree growing in the vertical, the uphill side it will fire roots straight in for maximum anchorage. But on the downhill side, it's going to have to send out long, seeking, searching, running roots to try and pick a grip, so you get nice lengths of root to work with. So just over there, that little hillock of spruce, or just behind us is another hillock, or there's a whole plantation across the track. Go to the downhill side, walk about 6 feet out from the base of the tree, and just get a little grubbing stick, just any stick, and just basically dig in the duff, and you'll find your root, and then just chase it. My preference for this is a clove hitch. You all know how to tie one of those? If you're right-handed, imagine you're throwing a lasso. Start at the left end, right behind left, like throwing a lasso. Right behind left, like throwing a lasso. Right over left, it creates a clove hitch. If you're left-handed, reverse it. Right behind left, right over left, clove hitch. Done. So you make your spectacles and fold. If you did that, close it like a book, then you end up with a knot called the Italian hitch. Are there any Italians here? Also called the Munter's friction hitch. It gets its name the Italian hitch because it goes backwards as quickly as it goes forwards. It's an abseiling knot. It's a good one for feeding someone down the face. So Munter's friction hitch is the politically correct term. So that's job one, super quick. The meat in the middle will cook off because the stick is going to get bloody hot as well, and it's green wood and it's non-toxic, so it's hazel, it's safe wood, and it's sappy, so it'll pick up a lot of heat and throw it in. If you're at all concerned, you can just inch it out at the end and just toast it off. So what I propose is, I've lit a long fire down there. If you quickly do some woodwork, whiz this out. We'll pop them on for about 20 minutes or thereabouts until they're starting to look peachy. How do you know when a chicken's ready? Skewer it and see if it's running clear and not bloody. So little sharp stick in deep into the thigh. If it's running nice, and then we'll dig out the sweet chilli, give them a good old squidge and a glaze of sweet chilli, and give them a final 10 minutes just to caramelise up, and then we'll stop for a snack. So when they're on the fire, what I want to then do is crack on and process all the rabbits. And once we've processed all the leg meat, loin meat, and then we'll divide into teams, but we'll do all the big butcher session in one hit. Okay, so chopping boards here, tree stumps under the parachute and all over the place, drag them out. I would like you to be an arm and knife length away from someone who's an arm and knife length away. That's a good safe working distance for a group of this size. If you're putting in big power shots and you think your knife might go flying off, visually check each time that no one isn't fumbling through to get to the biscuit box. Okay?